5.2 and kind of 5.1, probability and odds. Before we start into a whole bunch of questions, I just want to go through a few definitions here that are actually really important. The first important distinction that we need to make in this unit is experimental probability versus theoretical probability. Okay, so experimental probability is based on actual data and observations. So the experimental probability of event A is represented as probability of A, so P of A, which equals the number of A over the number of T, where the number of A is the number of times A occurred, and the number of T is the total number of trials. So that is in an experiment. So the theoretical probability, this is, so the theoretical probability of event A is represented as P of A equaling N of A over N of S, where N of A is the number, not hashtag, but the number of favorable outcomes of A, now I'm going to give you a solid example to wrap your head around, so, but let's just copy down this definition first. And NS is the total number of outcomes in a sample space. So if we can just kind of make ourselves a little space here. So, for example, experimental versus theoretical. So the theoretical probability of rolling a 1, okay, rolling a 1 on a 6-sided dice is 1 in 6, okay? However, the experimental probability, you would have to actually roll the dice, okay, and see what comes up over the number of trials. So say in that experiment you did 10 trials, and 2 times out of the 10 you got you rolled a 1. So the theoretical, it's like, okay, well, 1 out of 6 faces on that dice is 1. Whereas experimental is, okay, I did 10 trials of this and I rolled a 1 2 times. So hopefully that gives the distinction between theoretical and experimental. The majority of questions in this are going to be dealing with theoretical, but sometimes we're going to have to analyze data. Where it's like, okay, she rolls a 2 5 times out of 30 trials. We're going to have to use our knowledge of the difference between experimental and theoretical in those kind of situations. Odds in favor and odds against. So probability and odds, they get confused a lot. Okay, so let's take down the definitions for odds in favor and odds against, and we'll do some questions that deal with probability and odds in favor and odds against, just so that you can see the difference between. So odds in favor is the ratio of the probability that an event will occur to the probability that it will not. So, for example, the probability of will to the probability of will not. Now, odds against are just, it's the exact same numbers, but just in a different order. So odds against is the ratio of the probability that an event will not occur. Wait a second, let me check something up here. Oh, look at that. Spelling mistake. So the event that it will not occur to the probability that it will. So i.e. probability of will not occur to the probability that it will.